The book of John, the second chapter, where you find our message. The book of John, the second chapter, you'll find our message.
Amen.
Thank you, Brother Kenny, for teaching so good.
Amen.
Amen.
John, the second chapter, again at the 10th verse, 7th verse, you find these words.
Well.
Jesus said to them, fill the water pots with water.
All right.
And they filled them up to the brim.
Yes, sir.
And he said to them, draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast.
Right.
And they bared it. They filled the water pot, and then they drew out water and gave it to the governor of the feast. Ninth verse, when the ruler of the feast had tasted water that were made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servant which drew the water knew. The governor of the feast called the bridegroom.
Yes, sir.
10th verse, you'll find our message.
Amen.
After the governor, head of the feast, called the bridegroom. 10th verse, this 10th verse, he said to him, every man at the beginning does set forth good wine. And when men were drunk, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine unto now. Latter part of the 10th verse, Reverend, here you find our message.
Well. Right.
But thou hast kept the good wine unto now.
Yes, sir.
Want to talk for a little while today,
Go ahead, sir.
keeping the best for later.
Yes, sir.
Look at somebody that says, saving the best for later. Brother Kenneth just told a joke a few minutes ago. I don't like to tell many jokes, but one was on my mind.
Well.
As you sit in here, corresponding to his joke is, be careful how you either talk or deal or mess with somebody else.
Right.
On a job once, Brother Hightower was a man quiet, minding his own business.
Amen.
Never bothered nobody on the job.
Yes, sir.
But a little young guy got hired there and he kept picking at this quiet man.
Yes.
One day he pushed him and the quiet man kept going. Met with him again and pushed him again and he didn't bother him. Young man, I got him now, this quiet man, I can beat him like a woman. Got out in the crowd when they showed out and pushed him around and aroused the quiet man, and the quiet man jumped on him and just started beating him till the other had to pull him over. Got kind of mad. He was mad when he got up. They said, "We didn't know you had that in you. How you learn to fight so good? How you do all of this?" He just told him this word here. I just saved my best to later. That's the way it is with our sermon here today. Our sermon is found in the book of John, the 2nd chapter, the 1st through the 11th verses.
Yes, sir.
I taken from the 7th through the 10th verse.
Yes, sir.
Many believe that the 2nd chapter of John here is perhaps the most important chapter in the book of John. Some think it's even the most important chapter of all of the whole entire Bible.
Yes.
The 2nd chapter here is the chapter that kind of let everybody know who Jesus was.
Well.
Let everybody knew, Brother Charles, who Jesus had came here for.
Yes.
Also, let us knew what kind of power Jesus had.
Well.
Right.
When you go home and read the 2nd chapter, one of the familiar chapters in all the Bible, you find it tell us that there was the first miracle that Jesus did.
Yes.
anytime you got a Bible quiz or somebody says, what the first miracle Jesus did, you tell him right here in the 2nd chapter of Jonah.
Yes, sir.
Then also tell us that this miracle here was done when Jesus was one day at a wedding.
Yeah.
And at that wedding, the first miracle was he turned water into wine.
Yeah.
And after he had turned this water to wine, he told those servants, reach down and grow out the water and take it to the governor.
Yeah.
The word governor in our take here don't mean the governor of a state, but the governor was the head steward, the head person in charge of the wedding feast.
Amen.
And after the governor had tasted this wine, Brother Matty, tasted so good to him until he went and called for the bridegroom.
Yeah. Amen.
And when he called for the bridegroom, he said these famous words to him, what I read in my text.
Yeah.
He says, now when you throw a party or having a gathering, you always give the good wine first.
That's right.
And after everybody got high, they got intoxicated, and they got half messed up with swollen head, then you give them the cheaper wine. But I'm amazed at you, bridegroom, because hell, you save the best wine for later.
Yeah.
What he's trying to say is you save the best for later.
Yeah.
Seems like that every one of Jesus' miracles, Miss Paul, from the first one to the last one, Jesus always saved the best for later.
Yes, sir.
We try to show us in our text here, when you didn't ran out, can't go no further, don't know what to do, when you call him, when you get there, then he will take care.
Yes, sir.
How you do that to call? He saved the best for later. You'll find our son today found in the book of Jonah.
Yeah.
John was a unique guy. He was a unique character in the Bible.
Yeah.
Number one, John was the son of Zebedee, and his mama was named Sally.
Yeah.
John had a brother named James.
Yeah.
James, John, and their father were fishermen by trade.
Yes, sir.
They learned how to make their living by fishermen working on the ocean.
Well.
John, James, and their father had a ship on their own. They had their own business, and their job was they were fishermen by trade.
Yes.
You'll find the other three Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. They told a story how Jesus went out there and called James and John from the ship.
Well.
Told them, leave the ship to follow and come on and follow me.
Yes, sir.
Brother Matty James was somebody special.
Amen.
A lot of folks ought to want to be like James.
Yeah.
As James thought about Jesus, James became the beloved disciples.
Amen.
Otherwise, he became disciple of love. James became disciple to almost make the other disciples jealous of him because of Jesus.
Yeah.
John learned how to get close to Jesus. And I want to tell you, walk, keep on singing, and y'all quiet, keep on doing what you're doing. When others don't do it, try to get close to Jesus. John, they sit around the table, Miss Bread. John had a special seat beside Jesus. They always picture him as that man on the right next to Jesus. And how did John get famous? How he get because he loved the disciple? Well, when they be around the table and Jesus trying to have a discussion. And while Jesus talking to them, and every now and then one of the disciples or two or three of them around the table wasn't quite paying attention. You know how it is when you preach sometimes when everybody's not quite paying attention. In modern day, they want somebody to say, take while you both to be preaching. So that's why I always kind of look around when I preach. I hate to see somebody with their head down. I ain't know them bad, and they're going to say, that means you need to wake up. Stay around the table when Jesus was speaking, and when somebody else was speaking, brother.
Yes,
Jesus wanted to get their attention. What he had to do was lean on John. Then he had talked to them before John Wade. Then they came up to me and said, you the beloved disciple because you the one that Jesus leaned on the book. John became famous, but John also had another reputation. He was the youngest. And by being the youngest, he kind of was called by Jesus. Read the Bible and get home. Look at those four gospel writers. You'll find that John was the only one of those really original disciples who wrote one of the gospel book. And by being with Jesus, by traveling with Jesus, by letting Jesus touch and handle him, John got to know who Jesus was. And as John wrote his book, John, he didn't write with a whole lot of stuff you won't find, but 7 miracles in the book of John. Because John wanted me to know from the beginning who Jesus was. In case you don't know who he was, John said, Jesus is our Lord and Savior. The Son of the living God. Once you know that, that's all John wants you to know about Jesus. But when you read John, you'll find that John knew how to write. Reason why he knew how to write because John knew who Jesus was. Look what happened to John when he grew up. When John grew up and thought following the Lord and thought working for the Lord, he wasn't following Jesus, but John and Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, were following John the Baptist. So John the Baptist popped up on the scene before Jesus came along. John had to be the forerunner, so when John popped up, man, John started preaching and doing an unusual thing, and folk got a curiosity of John and began to follow John. So we find the disciple John and Andrew following John because John took him out in the wilderness. He was preaching down by the river, baptizing in Jordan. John and disciple John and Andrew, they loved it. Oh, John the Baptist hung around him. He was their leader. They were working with John the Baptist. But you know, God always saves the best for last. John was good, but one day Jesus came along. Met John the Baptist, and John had to baptize Jesus. Guess what? John really didn't know who Jesus really was. But the Spirit told him that the one you baptized, keep your eyes on him. When John took Jesus down in the water, heaven opened up. A voice came out of heaven. And John lifted and said, this is my beloved Son, in whom I'm well pleased. The Holy Spirit told John that the one that you see like a dove sitting upon him, that's going to be Jesus. If you don't know him, you ought to get to know who he is. And after John got to know who he is, John worked all night. I didn't baptize, just read Jesus. The next day, the Bible said, read it when you get home, the 7th chapter, that same John the Baptist, disciple John and Andrew was standing on the bank, and members and others were walking by John, and John wasn't saying much. That's why Jesus strutted by. Jesus strutted by. John couldn't help but to bring it way down here, but Brother John Hightower said he was in the heart, and Jesus said, John the Baptist said, these words. Behold, there goes the Lamb of God. But something happened there. When John said, behold, the Lamb of God. Disciple John and Andrew said, hey, we got the Baptist, you know more John. They left John the Baptist and started following Jesus. It's something about Jesus, I don't care what you're doing, when he wants you, it magnetically makes you follow him. Jesus started walking and John and Andrew started following him. Jesus looked back and said, where y'all going? So we heard who you are, we going with you. Jesus took him down to his house. But George, we ought to want to go down to Jesus' house. The Bible said they stayed there all evening with Jesus. I don't know what Jesus told them, but it had to be some good stuff. Because when his brother Peter.
Yes.
It said we had found the Messiah.
Yes, sir.
John, when he found James, he said we had found the Messiah.
Yes.
They started following after Jesus.
Yeah.
Later on, Jesus found Philip, and Philip found Nathanael and said, let's follow the Lord. I like to tell you every now and then when you find Jesus,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
learn how to take him to somebody else. But all while Jesus had performed no miracle, his ministry just getting started, something important happened.
Yeah.
Our text said, beginning in the 2nd chapter, there was a wedding in Canaan of Galilee. Look at the wedding took place, yet you understand the sermon. He said it was in Canaan of Galilee. Canaan, bro, walked with just a little small community.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Canaan was about 7 miles from Nazareth. Few miles from Capernaum and went far from another little small town in Asia. Now Nazareth was a place where Jesus and his mother lived.
Amen.
But the wedding took place in Canaan of Galilee. Why would this place Galilee so important in the story? Let's look at Galilee and see where Galilee was. Number one, Galilee was nothing but a region around Lake Galilee. Around this region there was a whole lot of little small town, but this here wedding broke out. In Galilee, Miss Stembread, around a little small town, Galilee was an agricultural place where they mostly raised grapes to make wine.
Amen.
But in the evening time, in the small village here, was nothing going on.
Yeah.
They were just quiet and do. Kind of like a small town like mine. Go to Sparta at sunset, you don't see nobody.
Amen.
Everybody quiet and in the house,
Yes.
like going through a ghost city. Not only mine, but many others. That's how it was in Galilee. Everybody was minding their own business. Everybody was quiet and nothing would happen. But every now and then, my record said, 2 things brought out the folks. 2 things brought out the folks in any little small town that quiet. 2 things to bring out the folks.
Yes.
Number one, a funeral. Let somebody hear somebody die.
All right.
Driving suit, dress, everything. I got to go.
Yes.
Just on yesterday in Atlanta, I know some folks went to one film before they got out there rich trying to go to another. Ain't nothing wrong with going to film, but sometimes anything you do is getting away.
All right.
This little quiet town of Galilee, when they had a funeral, Miss Paul, people would come out. But the main thing was when they hear about a wedding. I heard you say that, Brother Matty. Wedding brought out the people in the town. But the only thing about what it was these weddings weren't quite like the wedding up to date. When somebody had a wedding back then, but the whole city and the whole area was invited to the wedding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody could come to the wedding. Then the bigger part about that kind of wedding was, Brother George, the planning committee had to plan, and more plan.
Yes, sir.
They got to try to plan enough so that when they had a wedding, they'd have enough to take care of the one that came. But it had just one problem.
Yes, sir.
The record said back in those days, the ceremony would last sometime a whole week.
Yes, sir.
Think about, I can't call it wine, though. Think about folks love wine. Start drinking 2 or 3 days, they drink it out of the house and home. Get a hand drunk, they want a little more. I say you something about drunk, but go home, now I want a little more. So at these weddings, they got to plan, make sure they don't run out. Now when some of you all get married, your plan ain't too bad.
Yes, sir.
Because you send out just regular invitations. You know how many coming to your wedding.
Yes, sir.
If I ain't got a 75, my plan for 75. If I ain't got but 100, my plan for 100. But they couldn't do that because they didn't know how many were coming and how long it was going to last. Then they had Brother Kenneth, was that if the bridegroom and the bride run out of wine, he'll be ambassador to them in the whole family. Y'all didn't hear what I just said.
Yes, sir.
And they ran out, he'll be ambassador to the bridegroom.
Yes, it would.
All them folks that drunk up all his wine and want more, gonna start pointing fingers at the bridegroom. They're gonna say 2 words about him was, you was a poor planter, you didn't have enough. You know, honey, he is a poor provider because he didn't have enough.
Yes, sir. Amen.
Ain't that something?
Well,
I didn't give you all the wine you want to do some more. Ran out, now you're talking about me. Don't know how to plan, but I had the wedding in the house. Now look at that son right quick and see who came to the wedding. All them folk were there, but the Bible point out about 2 or 3 who came.
Yeah, yeah.
First one it said the mother of Jesus was at the wedding. She lived in Nazareth about 6-7 miles from Canaan, so she went up there to the wedding. Some said that they think that she was on the planning committee. Others thought she was a relative of the bridegroom who got married. They don't know they got it in their mind. But Mother Mary was at the wedding.
Yeah.
All right.
Number 2 was Jesus around his 12 disciples. While he was making the round, they didn't invite him down to the wedding.
Yeah.
I better stop right there for a moment.
go ahead.
I don't know who else finna get married or who gonna get married in the future. But then when you get married, you sit down there with your buddy, your friend, and you start saying, "My send out invitation. Did I leave anybody out? I got everybody out." When you send out an invitation, always remember invite Jesus to the wedding.
Amen.
Now the wedding done got started. Y'all know how it is.
Yes, sir.
In a little small town down in Canaan. The whole 10 little town, all the folks flocked to the wedding.
Yes, sir.
And at the wedding is after they done got married, Brother George, they started drinking.
All right.
And they just started drinking, and they were drinking. I don't know how many days they had been sitting in the middle drinking and drinking.
Yes, sir.
Finally, the service started going around, and one of the servants dipped down in the bag.
Well.
Pull a cup up and say, you know what? We done ran out of wine. Mama ain't got but a little sugar and a little flour kind of nigga meal. Ain't got no more. So when the servant ran out of wine, he thought about his own self first. He said, now I know the custom down here in this little town, if we run out, they're gonna embarrass us and everybody gonna laugh at us. So what he did was got smart, went to Jesus' mother Mary and said, Mary, you don't have permission. We didn't ran out of wine.
Oh,
Yeah.
Amen.
He was talking to the right person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So Mary there, she knew her son Jesus was there, but Mary once found Jesus. He had the 12. They were just mingling in the crowd. She walked up to him and said, she didn't call the name Jesus. Next she said, they ran out of wine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She Mary knew what she was talking about because Mary knew who Jesus was.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
She had believed Jesus. She knew who he was.
Yes, sir. Yes.
She knew what Jesus had to do.
All right.
Maybe remember Miss Them read back and looked at the first chapter while she was that little virgin when the angel came down and told her, you're going to be impregnated by the Holy Spirit. And then one born, going to be called Jesus. He's going to be great and going to have power.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
She didn't tell him that she knew he can do.
Yes, sir.
Let me say that here. I better say that again.
Go ahead.
Don't tell your child to try to do something you know they can't do.
Yeah.
But now what they can do is all right to tell them, Brother Johnny, you need to do it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
She didn't tell him to do it. She had said, they out of wine.
Yeah.
Kind of caught Jesus off guard, kind of, Jesus had mind, or he knew that his time was coming, but he didn't know exactly when.
Yeah.
Caught him off guard a little bit, and kind of like sometimes when I might call somebody and say, sing a song.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all better have a song on your phone. I tell you, Mr. Stembury, my job to preach. Now, when you get that truck, you gotta have a song on your heart. You might get caught off guard. Mary kind of caught his son Jesus off guard. Jesus told her, he didn't call her mama. He said, what you have me to do? What you doing messing with me? She knew the time.
Yeah.
Them servants still standing around with empty cups in their hands. Wonder what was going to happen next.
Yes, sir.
Jesus needed a little boost. Maybe had boosting then.
Amen. Come on with that.
So they at the wedding in Canaan was, you read the next verse, it said, there were 6 big water pots.
Yes, sir.
They were made out of stones. So you couldn't lean over and move. They had to sit where they were sitting.
Yeah.
Them empty pot right there. Jesus looked around, thought about it. Let me kind of help you out with Jesus just a little bit. Then there's something from up there, from his Father, came down to Jesus.
Yes, sir.
The inner man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Spoke to Jesus.
Yeah.
And right here, something happened.
Yes.
When Mary said, they out of wine.
Yeah.
All right.
You said, what you messing with me for? What it was, right there, Brother Walt, Mary was saying to Jesus, I'm cutting you loose from my biblical code.
All right. All right.
You 30 years old now, it's time for you to start doing your father business. Don't want to mess with nobody, but when you get 35 and 40, somebody need a knife and cut them loose and get on there and do your job. Jesus thought about that, and he told them guys that, well, it's my time. Fill them big thick pots up full of water.
Yeah.
James, go home and get you a good news Bible. The Bible gonna tell you, them big baths and big thing hold up 30 gallons apiece. That's a lot of water. 30 gallons in one pot. They fill them up. They had to go get water and come fill them up, but when they got there, they did what Jesus told them to do.
Yes, sir.
If we do what Jesus tells us to do, I guarantee you our life will be much better. We try to do it on our own, but without Jesus telling you don't do what he said do, it won't work. Meanwhile, we won't do what he said do because a lot of times he tell us to do something, it seems like we ain't got no business doing it. But he already knows the outcome. You do what he said. I like this here. Them guys start carrying water, filling up the pots. But one thing I like about it when I read the story was the Bible said they fill them up to the brim. They put more in it than hit a hole. Almost running over to the brim.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I thought about me in the hot towel, y'all. They had told me here, put feet on things up with water, you know what we did? We had got that for us, they had food. But they fill all the way up to the brim. What me to touch to read there, when you tell your husband, says, fill my car up, tell it fill it up to the top. They fill it up to the brim. Put all the water in there they can get.
Yes, sir.
And then look what happened. They put the lid on to keep the dust and the leaves off. Then Jesus spoke to them same servants again. I'm almost finished. He said, dip it. Now dip back in the same bag.
Yeah.
I thought about it, y'all. Now I got a little tickle on this. I said now, if I wanted the service, filling up one of them big water pot with water and got it full, he talking about dipping it again while I had some in my hand, I could throw that to the government. Jesus don't work like that. The servant taught me that you listen to Jesus. All that hard work filling up, put the top on it, now dip in it again.
Yes, sir.
Get that same cup and put it out, but don't you drink it, you take it to the government. You You take it to the head man in charge because something mighty strange going on.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
They obeyed Jesus, bro. Walked not be through the moment. They took it to the governor.
Yeah.
But when they got to the man in charge, something happened.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
He tased. I got big.
Right. Go ahead.
He got excited.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I've been drinking this stuff around 2 or 3 days.
Come
What
on.
happened?
Come on.
I thought I was drinking some good wine.
Well,
He didn't know no better, Miss Reed, because when he thought I got tipsy, all of it good.
yeah.
But at this time right here,
Yeah.
had to get ready to leave in a moment, but at the time right here,
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
sometimes I ain't had to wait till the last, so that'll be good.
Yes.
So the same way it is about sometimes singing and preaching. Sometimes the end it get to be pretty good.
Well.
This guy been drinking all day and all night, but he drunk this, taste this, he said, oh, something happened here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He called for the bridegroom.
Yeah.
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 Man, I can't understand this thing here. Everywhere I've been, they always serve the good wine first.
Well.
Then when we get about half drunk, they'll give us anything and it'll be all right.
Yeah.
Let me say one more thing, then I got to leave you alone.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Pretty good with this thing now.
Yeah.
All right.
Go on. Go ahead.
Yes,
When
sir.
I was growing up,
Well.
nobody law kept me by my coat and let me get too far.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy go to the club, they got me $4 or $5 or $6. I know that. Buying a little bottle of wine, this them with the wine was good.
Well.
But now when they didn't jump that up, they had no money. They started drinking anything somebody give them. If I could say it like this here, that's the way I want to say it. Only good wine gonna bother you. Just don't drink too much, he ain't gonna bother you. Them guys drinking that little Mad Dog 2020, I think they have no more. I went down to a man's house. Me and my brother cousin said, where he at? They laying on the bed. We went in and spoke to him with our buddies. He said, man, this bed about to throw me. He kept going round and round. You got Mad Dog and then you that cheap stuff. But his governor said, man, this good wine. You say the best to last.
Yeah. Like.
This old governor didn't even know where the wine came from.
Well.
He didn't know they were about to run out of wine.
Yeah.
That's how God does it if we trust him. Sometimes you don't even know where your blessing's coming from. Sometimes you don't even know you're about to run out because God always will take care of his own. I never seen the righteous forsaken, and I never seen the seed begging bread. I just trust God, everything will be all right. Always say the best for later. This is how it is in everyday life. We say the best for later.
Yes, sir.
Ball game, one day I was watching the ball game and the pitcher was pitching and pitched about 5 or 6 in and the game was closed. They were hitting and back and forth. Pitcher got tired, they put him in relief. Got it in the 9th inning and the game was closed and the opponent almost had catch the team in front.
Right.
Well, the guy spin there with tobacco and said, we got him now. But the team in front, the manager jumped up, started walking to the mound, tapped that left shoulder and said, send him in.
Well.
He came in, they were hitting all the other guys, but he came in and every time he threw, he was striking them out. They won the ball game, and when he interviewed the manager, he was standing there proud. They said, how did you do it? And one guy was hitting said, how did you quiet him down that couldn't hit? You know what he told him?
Go ahead.
I saved my best for my end. That's how God does things. People say the best for last. I got 2 more points in my league alone. We on the farm, farming, and be out in the field. We smell all that good stuff cooking on the stove. All that vegetable and all that meat, and we come home and eat all we can. Full then, but before we get up there, I'll tell you to sit back down. I can see this head tell them, sit back down. They're gonna bring that power that you can't all eat no more, but it's mighty good.
Yeah.
You said, Mama, Aunt, y'all trying to kill her. Why you stay this power? She said, I'm saving the best for later. Say anything about a concert, then up in the league. Whether it's blues or whether it's gospel, when you go to a concert, you go there to have a good time.
Yes, sir.
Whether it's singing blues or whether it's singing spirit, you listen to all the songs, it sounds mighty good.
Yeah.
Finally, they don't lead song. Reverend he'll look at the clock and tell them, say, there's all more time for we to go.
Yeah.
We're gonna sing just one more song.
Yeah.
Always the last song gonna be the hit song.
Yeah.
It's a slow drag and it feels mighty good.
Yeah.
If it's in the church, it feels mighty good. You be saying, I've been here all night trying to learn how to dance. But I wonder why I went to the last song. Say the best. Might as well leave you now. I got you in a good mood, but the best is for last. They went to a wedding one day, about to run out of wine. But Mary told Jesus,
Yes, sir.
told him that they running out of wine.
Yeah.
Fill up the water pot, Jesus said, and everything will be all right. They went to put water down in the pot with stem bread, but it came out with wine.
Yeah.
That's how Jesus do us today. At a funeral the other week, the girl sung a song at a sister funeral. He sung it right here. And I like the part where it said, how can you take a black cow, eat green grass, to get white milk, churn and get yellow butter?
Yeah.
But you said one day it took her, little bad soul,
Yes, sir.
dipped it in red blood,
Yeah.
came out so she was white as snow.
Yeah.
God always say the best for last.
Yeah.
She ready to say that at the funeral, I know the best is for last.
Yeah.
In our wedding here, he was just teaching us one thing real briefly. We about to run out of wine, but Jesus was there right on time. Did you pray and trust him? He always take care of you right on time.
Amen.
Stop worrying. Stop turning up to see what's going on. Because he will take care of you.
Yes, sir.
We're going to stop now with those in the church. I done gave you all enough of it. I told y'all at the concert, that last song was already good. You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
But when you leave, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Why the Reverend here wait till the last song just lift our soul. He just sung all the other songs at the concert. I got it album, y'all. This last song, he said, this is the last one. And we all stand today. You might need something, might be waiting on something. I thought of picking pan, but I'll leave it alone. Say the best for last. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh, those are the church open. I'll sing. The doors of the church are open. Loud and green. Jesus said, fill up the water pot.